Off the coast of Africa lies a vast, mysterious, and untamed island, Madagascar. In the early 19th century, this island kingdom stood at a crossroads, caught between ancient tradition and the encroaching power of Europe, and at its heart ruled a woman whose reign became a legend. To her people, she was a guardian of sovereignty. To outsiders, she was a tyrant. Her name was Ranavalona I, the Ruthless Queen of Madagascar. She began life far from the throne. Born around 1778, Ranavalona was not royal by birth. Her father, a commoner, once uncovered a plot to assassinate the king. As a reward for his loyalty, the monarch adopted the young girl into his court. There, she learned early that survival in the corridors of power depended on silence, cunning, and immense patience. When King Ranavalona I took the throne, Madagascar began to open its doors to the world. European traders, missionaries, and soldiers arrived, bringing with them guns, schools, and the Christian faith. They saw an island ripe for influence, a prize to be won. But Ranavalona watched from the shadows, and she waited. Ranavalon's modernization brought progress, but it also sowed seeds of resentment among those who feared losing their culture. When he died suddenly in 1828 without a clear heir, chaos loomed. The powerful chiefs whispered of succession, and foreign powers saw their opportunity to install a puppet. But Ranavalona moved first. Backed by loyal soldiers and powerful court officials who shared her vision, she seized the palace, ruthlessly eliminated her rivals, and proclaimed herself queen. Her rule was sealed in blood. The coronation of Ranavalona. It marked the beginning of one of the most extraordinary and terrifying reigns in African history. She immediately drew a line in the sand. Madagascar, she declared, would bow to no foreign king, no European god, and no outside rule. In a powerful speech to her people, she vowed, "Never shall I yield an inch of the land of my ancestors." Her words became her bond. She expelled foreign missionaries, banned the practice of Christianity, and demanded unwavering loyalty to the island's ancient customs and gods. Those who defied her decrees were not just criminals. They were branded as traitors, not only to her, but to the very soul of Madagascar itself. Public executions became stark warnings. She reinstated the trial by ordeal, a brutal tradition where the accused drank a poison from the tangina nut to prove their innocence. If they survived, they were free. If they died, their guilt was confirmed. Her European critics, horrified by these acts, quickly dubbed her the Mad Queen of Madagascar. Yet, to many of her subjects, she was earning a different title, Mother of the Nation. Ranavalona's reign was a paradox, built on both fear and immense national pride. But her iron-fisted rule achieved something remarkable. It preserved Madagascar-US independence at a time when much of Africa was falling under European colonial control. She fortified the capital city of Antananarivo, transforming it into an impregnable mountain fortress. She built up a formidable army, tens of thousands strong, and conscripted her people into massive public works projects. They built stone walls, roads, and grand royal palaces through forced labor, known as Fanampohana. The human cost was enormous. Tens of thousands are estimated to have died under the harsh conditions. But the result was undeniable. No foreign army ever conquered her land. Economically, she was as ruthless as she was shrewd. She understood the power of trade but refused to be controlled by it. She maintained commercial ties with Britain and France, skillfully playing their rivalries against each other. Foreign merchants were allowed to operate, but only under her strict terms. On several occasions, French and British forces attempted to attack, hoping to break her will. But Madagascar's dense jungles, rampant disease, and her relentless, well-prepared soldiers repelled every incursion. They learned the hard way that this queen would not be intimidated. But within her own kingdom, the price of this fierce independence was high. Her isolationist policies, while keeping colonizers out, also starved the economy of essential goods. The constant demands for labor and military service exhausted the population, and brutal suppression of dissent fueled resentment. Rebellions flared up, only to be crushed with merciless efficiency. Her rule became a study in contradiction, a defiant, independent nation shadowed by internal cruelty and pervasive fear. As she aged, Ranavalona grew even more cautious, her paranoia intensifying. Her court became a web of spies and informants. Enemies, both real and imagined, would simply vanish in the dead of night. Her magnificent palace, the Rova of Antananarivo, perched high above the city, became both her fortress and her cage. Yet, through all the bloodshed and sacrifice, she remained convinced that she was the sole protector of Madagascar's soul, shielding it from the corrupting influence of the outside world. When Queen Ranavalona I died in 1861, after more than 3 decades on the throne, the nation was exhausted and scarred, but it was still free. Her son, Radama II, immediately reversed her isolationist policies, reopening Madagascar to the world. This sudden shift, however, would unleash its own brand of chaos, ultimately paving the way for the French colonization she had fought so fiercely to prevent. History remembers her with 2 faces. To the Europeans of her time, she was a bloody tyrant, a savage queen who resisted the inevitable march of civilization. But to many of her people, then and now, she is remembered as the last great shield that stood between Madagascar and colonial conquest. Without her brutal, unyielding defiance, the island might have fallen decades earlier. Ranavalona I ruled with iron and fire. Her legacy is carved in contradiction, a queen who defended her homeland at the immense cost of its own peace. She ruled not for love, but for survival. To some she was a monster, to others a savior. History rarely grants us simple verdicts. If you want to hear the truth behind more women who shaped and scarred their worlds, subscribe to our channel. Join us as we journey deeper into the untold stories of the queens who ruled with power, passion, and purpose. Thanks for watching.